Good evening, everyone. I am Mirza Faisal Anwar, and I am a student of Maulana Azad National Urdu University, Hyderabad, and I am pursuing MA in English in this university. Today, I am going to talk about the Mathew Arnold and his essay, "The Function of Criticism at Present Time." Matthew Arnold is one of the very influential figure in the history of literary criticism, and he published this essay in a book in 1865, and he discussed six major areas in this essay. And one of the first area and one of the first idea which Mathew Arnold has discussed in this particular essay is true criticism and false criticism. And the question comes in the mind of the reader, what is true criticism and what is false criticism? How can we differentiate between this? So here he discussed and he explained about the true criticism and false criticism. He says that false criticism is that a critic who is misusing or misinterpreting a literary text. This is false criticism. In order to, and they misuse misinterpret the text in order to the influence of the any political or any personal interest. And the true criticism is that any particular critique is not using is not misusing and is not misinterpreting the any literary text for the in order to for the political or any personal interest. And and he also mentioned that a true critic has a multidisciplinary, because if he does not have a knowledge of the multidiscipline, and he does not have the knowledge of the multi subject, so how can he criticize on that? Suppose if someone is going to criticize on on a particular text of philosophy, and if he does not know about the philosophy and he does not know anything about that book, so how can he criticize on that? So he says critique should be multidisciplinary and he should use four things. He should evaluate the text, analyze the text, and he should interpret and description of the text. So these four steps should be followed by the true critic. And another idea is that Mathew Arnold mentioned in his essay, who is superior? There are two things in the world: creator and the creator and critique. So who is superior? Critique is superior or creator is superior? Mathew Arnold says that creator is greater than the critic, because creator is producing a text, and creativity is the true function of a man. So a man can produce a work and another man can criticize on that, and the role of the critic is that they should try to decode what is the hidden meaning in that particular text. So creator is superior than critic. And he gives the example of Samuel Johnson. Shakespeare has written so many works, and Samuel Johnson has criticized on that. So who is superior? Samuel Johnson is superior or Shakespeare? So he says that Shakespeare is superior. Here another idea is that the two things are very important to produce any artistic work. So two things are that the power of man and the power of moment. T.S. Eliot has written an essay, and he mentioned about these two terms, and he gives the term the power of man is the individual talent and the power of moment is the tradition. So in another word we can say that the power of man is equal to the individual talent, and we are talking about the individual talent. So Matthew Arnold says that if you have a individual talent but you don't have a power of tradition, you don't have a any types of rich culture, so you cannot produce any artistic work. Because and he gives the example of Shakespeare. Shakespeare was not a voracious reader, and he does not have any historical background, and he does not study in any university. He does not have any great tutor or any great guide, but he is the man who is who is the uh, renowned personality in the history of literature, because he empowered with the culture of Elizabethan. So the power of individual is important with the power of moment. So both are very necessary, and he also gives the example in the Byron and Goethe. Goethe and Byron was a very productive man, but Goethe was get the empowered, Goethe empowered with the rich culture, but Byron did not get. So Goethe was more productive because he empowered with the rich culture, and Byron did not get. So Byron didn't produce much. He also discussed about the these things. These two powers is not important to produce any artistic work in any types of work. Suppose he gives the example of the French Revolution and the English Revolution. He says French Revolution was a very big revolution, but it has a certain goal. It has a certain any particular they wanted to gain a particular things, and they gained, and it's over. The revolution has stopped, and everything has gone. But the English Revolution was it was a very they don't have any particular idea, they don't have particular aim, and they were growing, and they were working slowly, and they were just producing idea, and they were just debating, and they were working on these things. And he says French Revolution was the epoch of concentration. They concentrate on a particular things, and they gain, and it's over. But the English Revolution was the epoch of expansion. They were not concentrating any particular idea, and any particular things. He just growing very slowly, and he was now we see that the in all over the world. One more important things Matthew Arnold has given in this area, and he discussed about the definition of criticism. We were talking about the we were reading about the all types of criticism, and definition of the poetry, definition of the prose, definition of the novel. These are the things, but we did not get any types of definition of the criticism. So Matthew Arnold has discussed, and he coined the definition. He produced, he gives the definition of the criticism, and he says, and he also gives the some kind of functions of criticism, and he says in some areas, and he says that the impartiality, and critic should be impartial, critic should be have should have patience, critic should be honest, critique should be flexible. So these are the things he discussed in this essay, and he says critique should have the spirit, should have the spirit to learn the best thoughts in the world. And he, critique should, try to, interpret the best idea. What is best idea in this text? The critique should have to, spirit to, decode of this idea from the text. So they should have to spirit like this. And critique should be, should have courage to express the dissatisfaction. So this is also very important. And critique should have commitment to propagate the truth in the world. And Mathew Arnold was talking about the corruption of the Victorian period, how the people of the elite class and the political people and powerful people were using the the very productive man, how they were influencing on on the literature of that time. So he says it should be the free from the fear, and the critique should not have any types of influence on the on that. Because if you have any types of influence, if you have any personal interest or any types of political influence or anything, you should not be honest in these things. So these are the things we discussed in this video. And Matthew Arnold has discussed in his essay. Thank you so much for listening to me.